This will be our last round before our lunch break. So hopefully we go out with a nice bang as we get started here. Anson and Armando. Looks like we've got, I almost said mono water on Armando's part, but I saw the Garnet. He does have a Sarah. Ooh, more Ice Earth. Okay. So we'll pitch a White Tigerless Sea Nimbus. Can't use that card early for a Unalesca. Looks like he might have a Rydia in hand too. I see Larketius and that almost look like a Tama. That's one I haven't seen in a minute. I do hope Scions are playable next set. That'd be fun. So Armando starts us off with a great opening. Pitches Our Lady of Garnet. And one other card. We have Ico in hand as well. And the Toneberry. Going to go search out presumably Princess Sarah. Seeing the Toneberry makes me wonder, is this more mono water focused? No, there's Kolka. Okay, maybe this is just a true earth water split. Or maybe it's still just Rydia Warrior of Light. We just haven't seen those cards yet. Toneberry is a card people have mentioned with that new Rydia, or no, not Rydia, new Mira that was spoiled. As a way to give him Death Touch, but he himself won't die. Are we going to slap down the Kolka? Yes, we are. Which means we are roused and ready for a color fix, pitch a Blue Worm, and we will search out Garnet. I'm ready to warp her next turn if we really want to. Possibly. It looks like he's got an Ash. So okay. We're going to go for a third search. Dude, 3 searches in 1 turn. Get your Mog 6s, the water one that prevents searches. Where's that when you need it? Or a Remedy. Make them discard 3 times for all these searches. We will search out a Fenrir, put that into the break zone. Pretty good counter turn from Armando. Doesn't leave us with much in hand, so we could put him into top deck mode if we wanted to use that Unalesca on Anson's side. But we got 3 backups set up, so gives us a much higher chance we can play whatever we want. I see we at least have Arcanist in hand. I don't think there's a monster to recur currently. Okay, we are using the Unalesca effect. Yep, we did have a Tama. I didn't miss see that. And then we'll pitch Physalis for the Arcanist. Yep. So we are forcing Armando into top deck. Did he draw anything playable? We do still have a Rydia in hand, so we can put that down next turn and leave up the Unalesca, so we can keep hitting Armando's hand. No, he just has to pass. Okay. So he's either got something reactive or nothing at all. Ooh, I think this is a Lyra in hand. That summon really fell out of favor, which is funny because it's basically the cheapest removal you can have, but it's also very conditional. Has to be dull and has to be a prime number. Pitching another Tama and a Hecaton Kyre. There's Rydia. Going to search out presumably a spare copy of Unalesca, and then either Mist Dragon or Hecaton. Fenrir's not bad either. Fenrir can break either of those 2 backups, and we can recur the Tama. I'm gonna pull Tama up really quick, reread this card. I know it has something to do with canceling. Tama cannot attack or block, cannot be chosen by opponent summons or abilities. When a forward you control is chosen by your opponent summons or ability, you put Tama into the break zone and cancel the effect. Okay. And presumably, yep, we're going to use Unalesca. Force our opponent to go down 1. Oh, we did draw an Arc. Okay, so as someone kind of predicted in the chat, we are on Arc Chaos. Surprise, actually, there is no Chaos. It's just Arc. Water just a little closer while we're deciding here what to do. Nice. We are going to play out the Rydia. And we'll pitch a Blue Worm for it. Get our own summoner summon combination. Probably wouldn't want an Arc here unless we happen to run into Chaos. Of course, there's no forwards for our opponent. How good is Arc Chaos against Ice Earth. I don't know. There's a lot of discard going on already. Like, that might be a hard combination to keep in hand. Granted, any Chaos Arc is great once you get to it, right? So we'll pick Ico for our summoner, and which means we have to get a summon that is not water. And Mist Dragon. Not bad. There is some recursion in this Ice Earth deck. Larketius being a huge one. I wonder if we have Scale Toad in here. That'd be a really nice one to start hitting the hand. And I'm assuming we're just going to keep with this hand in mind. We can turn off the Mist Dragon, like if we wanted Larketius' turn. Pull one card out with the Unalesca. And we did draw Nagmalata, so we could go get a monster. Do we have enough? I think we have enough. So you tap the Arcanist, pitch maybe the Fenrir, go get your monster, and then you tap the Rydia, pitch the Zalira, or no, you pitch the monster, presumably an ice monster, for the Larketius. And before you do that, if you use the Unalesca, you can pull a card out of Armando's hand and prevent him from responding with the Mist Dragon. He's got Une in hand as well. Here comes Nagmalata. We are going to go search out that monster. Ooh, we've got Neo X Death and right on the bottom. One of those hidden texts don't show to someone else. Neo X Death just sitting on the bottom like, shh, nobody knows I'm here. I wonder if there are any dreams of Turbo Neo X Death in this deck, or he's just kind of there as a, hey, I'm here to mess with you. He's actually pitching Larketius for the... Oh, okay. He's just playing it out naturally. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I think what he should have done is use the Unalesca to prevent the Mist Dragon counter, and then you can still Larketius Scale Toad. Because now you're leaving one up. Unless he wants to potentially protect his break zone with Mist Dragon. Wow, and we're going for Mist Dragon anyway. That's... So yeah, we can counter Mist Dragon now. Armando giving up Une for this Mist Dragon. I don't know. Like, is there anything in there he really wants to protect? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Anson knows his deck better, whether he wants to protect what's in his break zone. I'm really surprised Armando did that. Unless there's just something in there he really... Again, it would make sense if he was doing it in response to the Larketius, right? You essentially just make the Larketius have no value, but just to lose the Une in hand for just the raw Mist Drag, I don't know. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe he also did it because now that the Unalesca's down, he's not fearing... He knows he'll get to keep whatever card he draws? And that's what Anson's trying to decide. Like, I don't know how much natural recursion he has for what's in there. And the Scale Toad's already out, so don't have to worry about that. Nope, he says, yep, that's fine. Mist Dragon resolves. Draw a single card. And the Unalesca would have been... Because even if like he tries the Mist Dragon in response to you using Unalesca, he has to then discard the card he draws off the Mist Dragon, so he's still with no cards in hand. All right, so now we've got a Sarah, a Kusith, and what's that last card? Sarah's already down. That doesn't do anything. Kusith could get us back that very Une, and then we could replay it. Granted, there's no forward to hit, but even just hitting the Unalesca, turning that off potentially, or even Rydia locking him out of his RCP aren't bad. Getting back Garnet's also very simple and straightforward. Garnet will then just cycle into another summon. Could be the very Kusith you use. I think that's Chaos in his hand. I think I see an 11 in the upper left-hand corner. Obviously, you don't want to spend 7 to put Chaos on an empty field. Does opt for the Kusith. Is he going to get the Une? Oh, he can't. Oh, and now we miss Dragon in response. Yep. There's a better time to miss Dragon. The Kusith, I don't think is in the break zone yet, right? Yeah, because it's still technically on the stack being cast. But it will lose everything else. Yeah, so we actually wouldn't have been able to Une anyway, even if we got it with that chaos kind of locking our hand up. So now we just have Sarah. So now he's just got to ditch one. The Sarah is the obvious choice, right? I mean, there's a good chance he's going to rip the other one out anyway, but yeah, you pick the Sarah and hold on to the chaos. We draw our own Arcanist. Larketius, no monsters to pull back though currently. And did we draw our own chaos? What was that? I can't tell what that middle card is. Unileska, yep, we get rid of the chaos. 4. Oh, it's Star Sybil. Haven't seen that in a minute. Yeah. So nope, it's okay. Yeah, so we're tapping 3. Gonna pitch Larketius for Star Sybil. Go get. I mean, our backup line's full now. Go get what other 11 characters we've gotten here. Presumably Shantoto. Although our backup line's full for the moment, we could always break the Star Sybil. We have any forwards we could grab? Prish. Yes, that's right. Prish is an 11 character. Nice. Prish could warp if she has to. She can also just come in and take out a backup. Don't hate that plan. And yeah, we'll pass with 1 in hand, and Armando's still in top deck mode, hoping he can draw an out of this. Star Sybil, man, what a card. That card used to be around so much. I used to hate it, and you just don't see it that much anymore. Here we go. Says Hecaton. All right, well, there's one way to get rid of Star Sybil. No free play for you, sir. And 1 in hand, so we are past the scale toe check. There's an Orphan. Orphan, a good one to play. Cryo, also not bad. I think, unless you really want the Cryo, you probably pitch the Cryo, yeah, for the Orphan. No, he gets rid of Prish. Doesn't value Prish as much. Okay. I guess Cryo does have a higher ceiling than Prish, which makes sense. Oh, man. Discard in full force here. We drew anything useful? A 5th backup, even? Armando struggling to get any momentum, which is of course hard when you only have 2 cards in your hand every turn. Yeah, Cryo does give us a higher ceiling, so I guess that does make more sense than the Prish. Whereas the Prish is just the initial one-time freeze, and that's it. We do have Toto in hand, but we can't even play it. Not that you necessarily want a Toto just an Orphan by itself. Can't see what that other card is. Which means we are going to have to feed one of these to that Scale Toad. He's just staring at him like Hypnotoad with hungry eyes. Rabbit. Rabbit. Anson like, come on, man. My Toad's getting hungry. Armando is checking his break zone quite a bit, so I don't know if he's just kind of trying to think of future lines, or he's taking like a deck inventory, or that other non-Toto card is something he could recur. Maybe he's considering the Ico. Okay, he had Cryo, that's why. So Cryo will come in off of all these. We will get back. See, it has to be something he can use this turn, though, because without that, like, what's the point? He's just going to have to discard it. Of course, he could also just be doing it for the sake of, hey, I got a 5th backup, which is, again, very good. Yeah, because there's just no way he's going to get to do anything off of this Kusith. He does cast the Kusith. He gets the Chaos. Orphan is, of course, going to take that card right out of his hand, but he got a 5th backup down, which means now he can play into any 5 or 6 cost. Yep, Orphan makes him discard, and hey, there's a bonus burst. That's what he was hoping for. Gets the Hecaton. We can, of course, just rip this right out with Unileska if we so desire, which presumably we do desire. We do, in fact, desire that. And now you can either hold up this Mist Dragon or play Kryl. That's a hard one. Kryl, like, I don't think there's anything you'll cast this turn, but you can at least then get Kryl online, and you're threatening you can use her for any of the future turns, which he does opt to go for. Cryo will target a summon. Now, however, if it's not you, oh, and he's going to use it actually. Yeah, just immediately uses his opponent's Hecaton, is going to put him right back down to 4 backups. Gets rid of the Sarah. That leaves only Ico as his only water source. Woo! Ice, Earth, and firm control here. Armando just struggling. He drew a Cuchulain and Meryl Web. Which, okay, well, he got another backup down. So he'll draw 2 and he has to discard 1. Which again, between Scaletoad and Orphan, he's not keeping any of these cards in hand. And has he even had a forward on the board this whole game? I don't think he has. He is definitely locked up in the Ice Earth grind currently. Another Chaos. I mean, Chaos is good when your opponent has forwards on the board, but it's just too expensive. We're pitching the Leviath. So we pitched... Okay. We're going to blank the Cryo draw, which is... Of course, that card's going to go away too. Yep. Go to combat. Say, I'll take that. Orphan will attack. There's another bonus burst. Of course, again, get a card burst. Not nearly as effective when your opponent can go, yeah, I don't think so. Yoink. And I'll just take that right back. Chaos is just crawling his way out of the grave over and over again, and it's not working. We'll pitch the Star Sybil. We could Cryo here, one of our opponent's summons, or we have another Hecaton Kyre in hand. And we just break another 4 cost. And then we just loop this. We'll just loop this every turn. You put down a 4 cost backup, you lose your hand, I had a burst, you get back a card, I take that back, I break the next backup. We just do that to damage 7. Speaking of 4 cost backups, we draw a Cryo, which is unplayable, and what's that other card? Mira? We're on damage 2. Is there a monster? There is a blue worm in there. Okay, Mira we can actually use. For the first time, Armando has something that will let him progress his board a tiny, tiny bit. We can get back Echidna. We can get back the blue worm, hoping our opponent doesn't have Mist Dragon, which he doesn't. But if we have a Mist Dragon in our break zone, we could steal it with the Cryo. Oh man, Anson and he's sitting on top of the castle right now, and poor Armando is just looking up at the tower like, how do I get over this thing? And yeah, we know there's a Mist Dragon in there too, unless it got removed when we weren't looking. But so Cryo can absolutely just counter what we do. But you got to try it, right? I mean, you've got 2 cards in hand that you will not keep to your next turn, so you got to try it. And yeah, he also does have his own Mist Dragon. So even if Armando doesn't have one, he can just use his own Mist Dragon. Good catch there, D-Watch Poppy. Armando really thinking this one through. I mean, you just got to go for it. Because what else can you do? When you get into this top deck lock state, you're never going to have more than 2 cards at the start of your turn. So if he could somehow find a way to get rid of this Orphan, then he'd go down to 1 in hand from the Scaletoad. Even if Unileska rips that out, the burst then could start you with a card in hand, but he's really thinking this one over. I wonder, because I thought he drew Cryo and something that in Mira, right? Which really, I mean, the Cryo obviously doesn't do anything, so the Mira's his only play. Of course, you could always Ico, but so interesting. So we pitch the Cryo for the Mira, get back a kit, hoping we can draw something that we can then use off of our backups, which of course Anson says, yeah, I'm gonna need you to remove your break zone from the game. Okay. Thanks a bunch, Armando. Yeah, if you could go ahead and just remove all those cards. I'd be grateful. Did we remove the Mist Dragon we used? Yeah, make sure that's removed after we use it from Kryl. Make sure we pay properly, of course, which I'm pretty sure he paid properly. He tapped one with the Nagnalata. But whatever summon Kryl just used, the Mist Dragon, does need to be removed. So, Kendall, or if you have access to the judge at the table, if you could go make sure that Mist Dragon gets removed. Maybe it was, again, I can't really see the glare, but it looked like he put it back into his break zone. Everyone seems to forget how Kryl works. Yep, the summon Kryl cast gets removed from the game afterwards. And there's our first non-burst into damage. It is a Sarah. Oh yeah, looks like they just caught him just now. Yep, missed. There we go. Now we got him. Now we got it. Yeah, if you're thinking of a card like Man in Black, right, it just keeps putting it back in the break zone. But yeah, the old Opus 12 Kryl actually removed him at the time. But we got that caught up, so thank you for catching up on that. Appreciate it. Going to pitch. Hey, it's a Pururu. I haven't seen this card in a minute. One of the guys at my locals loved playing that card. A Pururu. Pururu will get back Prish. Prish will immediately dull freeze. Oh no, it shouldn't kill it, right? It just dull freezes it. Oh, we warped it. Okay. I thought we were casting it hard. Yep, warp. There goes Mira. Once again in top deck mode for Armando. And it's called a lock for a reason, right? There's just not really a way out of it. We drew a Mist Dragon. I mean, we can dump our opponent's break zone, which we're going to do. Prevent all the Kryl access there. Hopefully draw something playable. A forward, a body, anything. A summon. Something to get something off of Anson's board. Anson's board is just growing and growing and growing. And poor Armando, he can't even get... And there's Arc, yeah. Oh, Une into damage. Do you send in Kryl? Do you just leave it up? You have access to the Hecaton. I mean, to be honest, I don't think it really matters. He's got him so locked down at this point. You also have Physalis. You could just drop that. Dull Freeze, draw a card. Hey, there's a bonus burst. Our third one. Okay, we will get this orphan off the field, and we can get back nothing, I don't think. Yeah, there's no water forwards in that break zone, so we can bounce orphan and make him replay it. You probably just Physalis here, right? Yeah, draw, dull freeze. Yep. And with two potential attackers next turn, this is... I just don't even know what he could possibly draw to get out of this. I see... Is that a Psycom soldier for some monster hate? I mean, you could take the Scale Toad out, right? Or does it only hit 2 costs? I don't remember. I think he has a cost restriction on what he can hit. It might only be 2. So he can't even beat up the Scale Toad. Oh my goodness. It is 3 or less. Okay, so he can't... Hey, you at least go out and take out the toad that tormented you, right? It won't keep you alive, but... Other than that, I mean, I don't know what the other card is in his hand, but other than that, I think that's all she wrote. I mean, Armando had a good setup this game. He got 3 backups down turn 1. Like, that's what you want, right? You want resources, but the top deck game just was not there for him. Between the dark cards and the extra backups, he could not draw anything usable. There's the Psycom soldier. Cost 3. Doesn't break the toad. Gonna dull freeze that, of course. What does that card do? Psycom Enforcer. And choose a monster of 2 or less opponent. Okay, it is 2 or less. I was right. I was like, wait a minute, I could have swore it was 2 or less. I didn't think it could hit the toad, but someone in chat said. Either way, we have nothing in hand. I mean, a burst could save us, but it's another arc. Yep. And that's all she wrote. GG. Final taunting Leviathan burst, but to be honest, he was just so far behind. Again, like, there's just not... Maybe if he'd been able to get some forwards out that could have removed the orphan, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know what's fully in his list, but man, Armando just could not draw anything. Hansen and just put on that clinic of like, nope. And what was it? 5 minutes into the game, 7 minutes, you're in this lockout state. It's like, well, I hope you like this because this is where you're going to be for the next 25 minutes of your life. Oh my goodness. Well, major congratulations to Anson. That went about as cleanly as he could have asked for. Didn't really give him any kind of trouble. And yeah, Armando tried. Like I said, he had that backup start. He curved out, but it all just fell to pieces after that. So best of luck in his next one. And yes, folks, that brings us to our lunch break. We've got about 5 minutes left in the round. And I believe I was told that lunch will go till about 3:15. Kendall, if you're here, you can verify that for me.
Yes, sir. 3:15 to 3:20. Give people that little 5-minute window to get back.
Perfect. So chat, we're essentially going to go on lunch now. I know I'm going to go take a break, try to go get something tasty, but we've got about an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll be back here around 3:15, 3:20, and this is Central Time. So again, that's about an hour and 10, an hour and 15 minutes from now. I'll put it in the chat too. Returning from lunch at 3:15 to 3:20 Central Time. Ta-da. All right, Kendall, we'll go ahead and get yourself something tasty. We will leave the stream up, of course, but yeah, we won't be back for a bit of time. And we will see all. Kendall, anything else we need to say before we take our break here?
Just want to thank everybody for coming out and watching the stream and, participating in the chat and stuff. We appreciate each and every one of you watching.
Absolutely. Enjoy yourself a nice break, and we'll see you with some more Final Fantasy trading card game action. We've still got 3 rounds to go. We got to refuel ourselves first, and we will be back in just a little over an hour. See you then.
Yes, sir. Thank you.